Aloha. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Aloha, and how you doing? Welcome to another thrilling and exciting adventure in Hibachi Talk land. This is I'm Gordo the Tech Czar, and welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm here with my buddy Drew, the security guy.
Aloha.
How you doing, bud?
Brother?
Nice to see you, man. Nice to see
How's
you.
your week?
As you can tell, I got no voice. I've been talking like crazy.
No,
got no tech
not
job. I
you.
got no voice. Got no voice. Anyway, so we want to thank you so much for joining us today. Pull up a chair and a towel and grab yourself a libation and join us for a fun-filled 45 minutes in the wonderful world of tech. And we're going to talk about value-added reselling today and what that means to you. Oh, there's Minnie Drew is in the house too.
That's Hillbilly.
Yeah, Hillbilly. I'm sorry, the Hillbilly.
He had to dance a little.
We're going to talk about that. We've had a pretty good, exciting week. Let's see what's happened. I was on Bite Marks on Wednesday.
How's Bert?
Bert and Ryan were there. They were looking for Angus to be in the house, and he showed up for a brief
There was an
second.
appearance?
Yeah, and Jay showed up too.
Angus gets around.
He's getting
Jay
around.
gets around.
Jay gets around.
You get around. You guys all get around.
Yeah, we're doing a lot
I'm
of
the
stuff.
only one working.
Let's not even go there. And then the other thing that's happening this weekend, Angus reminded me that this weekend on April, this is Scottish Festival Week.
Right on.
It's at the Ala Moana McCoy Pavilion.
Yeah?
So people will be there in their kilts.
On the weekend, then.
On the weekend. That would be this weekend.
Right
Be in
on.
their kilts and in their.
I don't think there will be any beer.
And there will be beer. Yeah, that's what they did say that. So that's happening this weekend. So if you people want to go out and see a bunch of people dancing around in their kilts, that'll be the day. Also, tonight is April Foolish Party down at the M. So if people have nothing to do tonight, that's the big fundraiser.
For our famous
Boys Bunch. Make a
and
Wish.
our friends at Make-A-Wish.
Make-A-Wish.
Yes.
So that's another good thing that's happening down there.
Come on down. Yeah.
Come on down. If I have a few extra tickets that I will be giving away, so you do not have to worry about spending the money. I bought them already, and if you're come looking for me, it'll cost you a beer. That's about it.
Yeah.
And I walk home, so don't have to worry about any of that other stuff
That's
as
right.
well. So perfect on that. So anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about VAR and all that good stuff. But you know, we got our segment, one of my favorites.
Are we going to have any guests today?
And well, I'm sorry, I missed that. Thank you. You think after 15 weeks I get this right?
You think
know?
there's anybody helping us work today?
No, I was like, no, I was just
What's up,
so
brother?
not into it.
What's up, man? We're doing all
Anyway,
right.
it's called lack of sleep.
We're all
So
right.
anyway, so we have a guest today. It's Brett Peavey from Paxa. He's going to talk about value-added reselling.
From Paxa.
This
All
guy's up
right.
here.
Good
And we have
deal.
Emily and Zuri here, and if it wasn't for
Keeping
them,
us straight.
you wouldn't be seeing any lights on because I don't have any on. So they're helping us out again, as always. So, but we have our segment that always thrills me to death, and this is the got one tech job, right? So
yes.
we're going to
What
pop
do we
up
got?
another one that came in that just is a beauty. This is got one tech job. Now tell me what's wrong with this picture. So here you
What
have
is-
a gentleman standing on a ladder with a drill. Not too bad, electric drill.
Little electric drill
Yeah,
there.
but the
Got his power cord.
yeah, and the ladder's in a swimming pool.
Oh.
Oh, and by the way, the swimming
It's
pool
full of water.
is full.
Where's this from?
got
Oh.
one tech job. At this rate, got one life. I mean, can you imagine if that cord just slipped off that lip?
Did
and
you
dropped
shoot that, or
no,
was it?
I
You
didn't.
oh
Someone
my! Somebody sent that in.
Someone sent it
Wow.
to me, and I hope it wasn't his worker buddy. But anyway, got one tech job.
Wow.
Another classic of all classics. So anyway, I would just
we don't advise you try that.
remind you, if any of you have any more of these and you want to send them in to us, please do. I want to build a list and see what we can find the top 10 got one tech job slides for the year.
That was
So
rough.
that was a funny one. So anyway, let's talk about value-added reseller. It's about value-added resellers. I'm going to do a little brief on it, but then we're going to let Brett dive deep into what value-added resellers are and how it works.
Okay.
It's just to help our audience and help you understand how the mystery of value-added reselling really works. When you go to a provider to buy software or hardware or services, and you hear the term value-added reseller, what does that mean? And we'll get into, and Brett will give us his lifelong experiences in the wonderful world of that. But you're a value-added reseller.
VAR. I'm a VAR.
You're a VAR.
Sure.
And what kind of VAR are you?
Well, the manufacturers in my industry are building very specialized type of application software, and typically the end user just doesn't know how to implement it well or fully, or how to use it properly maybe. So what we bring is that expertise alongside the implementation. We also bring in integration, so they may have multiple pieces of application software that we put together for them to build the scenario that they need to, provide security at their facilities.
So if they're looking at, they want to, a gate to be controlled and a door to be controlled.
Sure.
And some cameras in another area to be controlled. And they want it to alert email or something like this. This is where you would come into play?
Yeah, so interesting, just something as simple as a gate, you've got maybe a card reader there, some way for the staff to get in that are authorized, but then what about the visitors? They need, maybe an intercom's got to be there as well. And then of course I need some kind of hardware on the gate to know its position. Is it closed when it's supposed to be? Has it been propped open? Things like that. And maybe I need a camera to back it up. And then of course all the software to monitor all of that, and then also be able to report on it, audit it later on to find out what occurred maybe after the fact. So yeah, there's a lot going on there, and all of those products could have a VAR representation, as a matter of fact, from the camera to the intercom to the card reader.
To the card reader. So it may not be one single manufacturer then.
Exactly. I rep many.
You rep many. So so if I wanted to do an elevator, you know how cars had fobs or they have cards in your elevators.
Sure.
You might have to integrate whatever the elevator. I can't talk today.
Wow.
Whatever
right on.
the elevator. Mouth in gear, brain in neutral. That's exactly what's going on right now.
Okay.
So
we'll get there.
You'll get there, please.
I've seen them, those things that go up and down.
Yeah,
you get in the door.
Elevators.
Elevators.
Yeah, elevators. So when you're trying to get, if I'm trying to get my elevator integrated in with
Your security.
my security
Sure.
or my access system, that's where you would come in to take those disparate systems.
Amazing, because some of our friends in the government are looking at Lee Place. I was just down there with Otis. They've got a elevator modernization going on there. They're looking at it. We meet with ownership talking about that particular integration. So today, we're, where that elevator goes, who's allowed to go where, how quickly it gets people to where it needs to go, is all data that's feeding back into the security as well, because, those users have that card that they had to use to get into the parking area, use to get into the door. Right. So now they can just present that in the lobby and it says, hey, go use elevator 5. And it's trying to aggregate people to get them there faster and with less energy expense. So the elevator industry's, it's sort of like this building, BIS we've talked about, the Internet of Things, and this building Internet of Things has come as BIoT, and building Internet of Things, these integrated building solutions for power management and things like that. But the this is one of the major sort of newer integrations we've had. We've had hardware integration to those elevator controls, but this is pure software. So very, very interesting and very nice solution. So
you said something that kind of intrigues me. So, and I never thought about it. So you said a bank of elevators, like 8 elevators sitting there, and I can imagine the power to run these things is not inexpensive, to say the least. And they're programmed to go to certain floors or whatever, or weight and such. So with the kind of technology you're talking about, you can start then managing the power consumption of the elevator based on the access card that an occupant of that building uses to get into the facility. Send the right elevator to the right spot at the right time.
Sure. If I know you and I'm going to floor 7, you're going to floor 8, I'm going to put both of us in that car because it gets us there quicker with less utilization. And then the other 2 guys behind us, we're going to maybe 30 and 31. So it's smart enough to do that for you. And it's doing a lot of calculations, but it's just figuring out how to run as efficiently as possible. I guess elevators I'm not an elevator guy, but it's that start and ramp up speed time is quite a lot of energy. And these were neat. I learned this. They actually, when they're coming down, they're actually regenerating that energy and saving it and storing stuff like this. So these modern elevators are quite amazing. And I was like, my software monitors all that? Great, because I knew the security piece, but I didn't know the elevator piece so well. And I learned a lot the other day. Yeah,
that's super neat.
So that's value. I think the Otis guys in that scenario are a VAR. And then I'm the security VAR. So together, under this, for us, a United Technology sort of umbrella, we're bringing a lot of value to this.
So it's multiple VARs coming in to come up with a solution on that particular request by the client.
Because so much specialization in that elevator world, and those guys don't know security. They were like, we don't know, ask him. They give that up. So it's nice. So nice for the user.
So it's a good concept to realize that when you're sitting talking to a VAR, that VAR may not be the VAR of all things.
Oh no, yeah. Probably not. If he says he can do it all, probably you need another VAR.
Brett tells me he can do it all.
Well, maybe he can. We'll find out.
So the VAR of all things may not necessarily be the VAR of all things. So do you ever run into
the VIOT? We'll have the
the Vinternet of everything.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Vinternet.
Sorry.
So do you ever run into competitive situations with other VARs in your industry?
Oh, just yesterday, there was another elevator group before us presenting, and then us, and then there was another group after us when we walked out the door. So I don't know their particular integration scenarios, but I know that the one we had is pure software, and one of the sort of the industry leaders, which I learned from the elevator guys. I hadn't done this yet.
Wow.
So I mean, I knew my piece, and I learned what they could do. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
And then you hope that they'll pick you to do the systems integration, the installation, the servicing, and all those.
Well, I think that at the end of the day, for us, it's the ability to tie in the security. You know, if they've got an elevator system going, and then they've got a security system, and they're not talking, we're not getting that data. You know, it's that user data that we want after the fact, and then the more useful flow of people, the security that we get. You know, I was explaining to them, and none of them really got this, that the users, the guys like us with a card, you know, the system knows what we're doing, but it's all the visitors that cause a lot of problems. They don't.
Okay.
You have to have a way to move them around quickly and keep the building secure. You know, so that they're not allowed to just go to any old floor. You don't want them to just pick a button and go up and walk in your office and start causing havoc or something.
Right. I mean, and every floor is different on every building, because you've got some buildings where the tenant has the entire floor. You've got some buildings where it's carved up into multiple tenants. Some tenants want to be more secure than others.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to have all of that analytics and all the logistics into that.
Exactly.
So smart buildings are more than just energy efficient.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Oh, yeah. It's and I think the energy, you know, we're starting to get into the HVAC controller guys are talking. And
HVAC being the high volume air conditioning.
Heating, ventilation, and control, and air conditioning. You know, we've been waiting for years. I keep thinking to myself, like a Siemens or one of these big companies will come out with this platform. But I think that the silos of knowledge are so diverse, you know, that it takes a long time for us all to learn how to help each other. You know, it's one thing to say, oh, this makes sense, but to make all the technology work together is taking a lot longer. I thought we'd be doing this a while back, and we're really just starting to get there with the elevators.
Well, you remind me of a scenario when we did it's a project that we worked on together at the Sitting and Counting, where you were working on the badging, access controls of the various buildings, but you integrated that with the carpool.
Oh yeah, so remember the tag? Yeah, so that your
car. So we put all the vehicles in the carpool so that not every department had to have its own cars. Saved the city a lot of money. And then you would use your badge to pre-book the car with email, and then you would use your badge. It would preset it all up. You'd walk down, hit the cabinet. It would open the door. It would light up the key for you to take. You take that key and it tracked your time in and out. You put in your mileage, and everything was all integrated. So, but it were different products from different vendors.
Yeah, and I think we got to even the idea was to also make sure that we've got balanced mileage on those cars, so that like this one's getting 80,000, this one's getting 20,000.
Right.
So I think there was some of that in there as well, which made it a little more effective of a system. But you know, without even, I think we end up being able to use less vehicles overall as well, right? So
they were
more
to reduce the fleet size.
More efficient usage.
Exactly.
So that was pretty cool. And that's a product. I think it was called the Traca, that had its own VAR channel, but it integrated to a product that we had, so we were able to represent that in there and put that together. I remember that. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, I've consumed too much fluid as usual. It's time for me to hit the lure. I hit there already.
Just like that.
Just like that. And I'm gonna head over to Lua. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. You guys replenish your glasses, and we'll be back in a bit.
Hi, I'm your host on ThinkTech Asia, Bill Sharp. I look forward to you joining us each Monday between 4 and 5 o'clock when we film right here in our studio in downtown Honolulu. The show, ThinkTech Asia, focuses on contemporary events in Asia, and by Asia we mean anything from Hawaii, south to Australia and New Zealand, west to Pakistan, and as far north as the Russian Far East. Clearly, this is one of the most economically dynamic centers of the world, and we bring you up to date on what's going on in a whole host of countries in this very vital region. We look forward to seeing you. Aloha.
Inspired by an ancient culture, classical Chinese dance, vigorous physicality, timeless stories, 5,000 years of Chinese music and dance. Shen Yun presents authentic Chinese culture. Coming to Blaisdell Concert Hall, May 8th and 9th. Tickets at shenyun.com or call 808-792-3919.
Aloha, I'm Kili'i Akina, president of the Grassroot Institute and host on Ehana Kako, a weekly program on the ThinkTech Hawaii broadcast network. Ehana Kako means let's work together. Think of the sad alternative, let's not work together. Here in Hawaii, with all of our diversity and the richness of the people, it's important for us to come together around issues on the basis of what's right and what's good and what's going to serve the common good. And that's what we try to do at Ehana Kako. Every week, we interview movers and shakers, people in government, business, and other sectors of society to talk about how to create together a better government, economy, a better world here in Hawaii that can bless the rest of the world. I thank you for your attention to ThinkTech Hawaii, and we look forward to seeing you every Monday, 2 to 3 p.m. on the ThinkTech Hawaii Broadcast Network. We're Ehana Kako, and we wish you well. Aloha.
Hi, aloha. My name is Chris Leatham, and I host a show called The Economy and You. The show plays every Wednesday at noon, and on my show, I bring on guests who are interested or working in the technology space. And so I'd like you to come and watch the show and learn with me about all the sort of exciting things that we're doing in Hawaii to build and grow our economy ecosystem. So I'd like to say aloha, and I look forward to seeing you on the show. Thank you.
Aloha, my name is Paul Jackson, better known as PJ, and my local interest is in sports. I have my own sports radio show at KWAI AM 1080 that you can stream live. I also have my own website, pjsportsradio.com. We have live guests in studio, and we talk about discussions and topics that everyone wants to know locally here on the islands. We cover everything from surfing to basketball to whatever's going on locally, sports-wise. We try to do our best and cover the topics in depth as much as we can. Once again, thank you for joining PJ here on Hawaii Sports Update. Mahalo.
Later on, but right now Angus is in the house, and I think he's got a couple surprises for us. Angus, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, you doing there, Drew?
Very
Good
well.
to see you. You're back in the house and having a good time. It's been awesome. It's been an awesome week. You know, I had a great time, great time. Anyway, I want to give you an update. Did you see the news the other day about Scotland? An
No.
unidentified flying object was seen over Scotland. It brought out the news media and everything.
I didn't catch it.
It was awesome. There were scientists and everything. Lots of research. They discovered it was an amazing thing. It was called the sun. anyway, that was what they found out there. You know, the Scots, they're always on top of it. And I'm looking forward to the weekend festival. I'll have a few beers with the lads over there. And the lassies, as always.
That'll be a good time.
Anyway, I got my wee tech moment right now. And my wee tech moment is on the new Surface Pro. No, not Pro. It's, oh, I lost me that. Anyway. Oh, look at that nice shiny bald head. Anyway, the new Surface 3. The Surface 3 is Microsoft's new product coming out at the end of the year again. Always at the end of the year. Christmas time. You know how to get your money. Anyway, it's going to be only $499. Really, really cool thing. It's going to be with new keyboards. And they got one that's super blue, like my blue eyes, see? Anyway, they got the blue eye keyboard. It also comes only 1.37 pounds. You know how many stones that is, Drew?
4.
Because the Scots, we use stones. You know, it's a tenth of a stone. So it's 1/10 of a stone, Drew. That's awesome. So it's 1.37 pounds. It runs full Windows 8.1. It's also upgradable to Windows 10. Because Windows 8, 9. Remember that? Oh, you can't remember that joke. Never mind. The battery lasts 10 hours. The thing is, it's more consumer-based than it is for the business kind. But you can go to the Pro version, and there's ways to do that with a little bit more money. You know what they are over there at Microsoft. They want more of your money.
Always.
Anyway, that's me. My tech update for the day. And we'll see you guys all next week. And I'll be at the beach. And remember this: let your wind gang free wherever you be. Aloha.
All right. Aloha. Thanks, Angus. So, look for Windows Surface, I guess, for about 1/3 of the cost of the Pro. If you want to get into the consumer grade level, looks like it's going to be a pretty hot product. We've got Brett Peavey in the house with us today from Paxa. We're going to talk a little bit about the VAR, and I think Gordo made it back from the Lua. How's everybody today? Brett, welcome, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Nice to see
Good
you.
to be here.
Right on.
Brett, nice to see you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
How come you're not out selling?
It's lunchtime.
I noticed we all got the white. We all got the white shirt memo.
Yeah. Wait, nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wait, what? I let you have lunch?
You feed him?
When did that start?
15 minutes.
Well, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I know.
It's
I
an
gave
HR,
you-
it's an HR law.
an HR
They don't
thing.
have that in Scotland.
They don't have that in
Only in
Scotland.
Hawaii.
So, so you've been in the VAR business for how long?
13 years.
13 years. So you can give us some good insights into how it works and the things on that. But before we get into this, we always like to know your little background and where you went to school and things like that. So, where did you go to school? I can tell by your accent you're from Russia.
Yes, yes, Southern Oahu. Actually, I was raised in Louisiana, and I went to college there at Northeast Louisiana State University, managed in marketing. After that, a couple of years, moved to Hawaii.
Good move.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you've been here how long?
33 years.
Oh my goodness. That's about the same time as you. What year was that when you came?
82.
82. I
Yeah.
came in 79. So now I know it's 35 years I've been here. So
Yeah.
thanks very much.
Yeah.
So, wow, awesome. So, have you always been in sales?
No, when I first came over, I started in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
And I did that for about 11 years, and then I got out of that and went into sales.
Into sales. Now, has it always been tech sales or has it been?
It's been around tech. I was the manager at Icon Office Solutions for their color division for 5 years.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then I went into the computer business.
In the computer side,
Yeah.
you've been doing that for
About 13, 14 years.
13, 14 years. So I'm going to hit you with kind of one of the questions that I hear a lot when you talk to clients and such is that, why would I buy hardware from you or software from you when I can go down the street and get it at Costco or Best Buy?
Well, it really depends on what you're buying, but what we provide here is a couple of things. I'm local. We're a local company. We provide a relationship with our customers, and so we get to know what you need. And so when you run down to Costco and you just pick up a computer off the thing, it might not have the software you need to join into your network. So that's where a value-added reseller comes in. We look at what you have, look at what your needs are, what your goals are, and then we can help you tailor your equipment around that.
So similar to what Andrew's doing in his security side of the
Yeah,
business.
absolutely, absolutely.
There's a lot of boxes in the IT world. You know, switches, there's telecom gear, firewall gear. I mean, so the VAR, is there VAR channels for all of that in your world?
Yes,
Typically,
yes.
right? I mean, it's whole end-to-end solutions, networking, and
We represent all of that
Okay.
from the end-to-end solution in IT, but we don't. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in all of it,
Okay.
but where I come in handy is I can reach out and get the experts for the customer, and so the customer doesn't have to take their eyes off their business. What's making them money, they can come to me and say, Brett, this is what we need, this is what we're looking for, this is what we're trying to achieve, and I can go out and get the resources to make that happen.
do you, in our business, the manufacturer resources, especially at the front end, sort of the leading edge of what they're offering, sometimes needs a little more engineering, and that we tend to rely on them to help us understand sometimes the nuances of the latest version of X. Do you find that as well? Do you get good support out here from your manufacturers?
Oh, absolutely,
Awesome.
absolutely. Some of them better than others, and that's where we
Do I
provide.
name names?
Well,
No, okay.
no.
See?
thought I'd
No.
try.
We need to keep the
We
lines.
might get them on their toes.
But that's where we come in value to the customer as well,
Right.
because we know what the back-end support is for these manufacturers, and we can kind of guide our customers into the ones that can give them. It's one thing to get a great price up front, but it's another thing to get the support in the back end, because one day you're going to have problems with that, and you're going to want to reach out and get support for it, and you want to get it from a company that can provide that support here locally for you in a timely manner.
So, and you're not just talking desktops here. You're talking servers
No.
and large systems to small systems.
Yes.
And everything in between.
Yes, yes. One of my largest customers is, well, they're a hospital chain around here, and so we provide everything from desktops to the largest storage devices there, and so, yeah, we do the full gamut for
And
them.
I've seen the sheets, right? So
Yeah.
you think it's like, okay, I'm gonna go off and I want a storage device and like, okay, one storage device, right? And one desktop computer. But how come it's like 50 pages long? Why doesn't it say just that?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes inside of that.
Okay.
And so you have to make sure that you put the right elements inside of that piece of equipment that's going to accomplish and going to provide the horsepower the customer needs to run the application or to do whatever it is. Because some of these things are they control people's lives. I mean, in a hospital especially,
Right.
You want to make sure that piece of equipment is going to work when it's supposed to work and how fast it's supposed to work. And so you got to for me, I have to make sure that what I put in there, which is a long list of equipment, a long list of things going to a little bitty box, that it's going to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, and I find it interesting, if I go down to Best Buy, the guy might not know all the things in that itty bitty box.
No, and they're just giving you what's the hot seller. This is a hot seller. This, it's got this in it, and this is what it comes with. And so you have to tailor your needs to that box versus tailor that box to your needs.
Okay. Yeah. Now, is it usually cheaper at Best Buy, or I'm not picking on Best Buy, but on the retailers, is it usually cheaper at the retailers than is it if you go directly to the manufacturer?
It can be, but it depends on the quantities you're going to buy it.
Okay.
Because if you're looking to buy one, yeah, you can probably go down and get it just as cheap. But if you're looking to buy 100, then I can register that product with the manufacturer and get you a deeper discount than you can get from a Best Buy or something like that. And that machine will be tailored to your needs versus just buying off the shelf thing.
And don't you find that the customers, the value part of what we do for them is all that engineering? They really can't look up the road at the next 2 iterations of software that are coming and know that they're going to need i7 versus i5 processors. They know where they want to be, but they really tend to rely on the VAR to bring that knowledge to their purchase. And sometimes it seems like they think they want something inexpensive, but you're like, that deal's got a 1-year warranty. What you're trying to purchase has got a 3-year warranty if you go this route, and so that extra little bit of money over those 3 years.
Yep.
The VARs bring a lot to that table that the customers just don't have time to figure out.
So you said something interesting a second ago. It's called a registration. You got to register the deal. So what's that?
Well, so with manufacturers, they require us to get certifications to sell certain one of their products. Okay. And so we put the time and money in to get these certifications. And that allows us to go out and say a company wants to buy 1,000 desktops, or 100 desktops. We go out and we register that deal for that customer because we're authorized to do it at that level. And so the manufacturer will give us a deeper discount that we can pass on to the customer.
So but how do you know that the customer wants to get 100 desktops? You have to keep your ears to the.
Well, I have a relationship with the customer, and that's the value add that because these companies come in from the mainland, and it could be a different sales guy every time coming in from the mainland. But I'm here. I'm always here. I've been here. I know your company. And so, you come through me, I'll go to the new guy from whatever manufacturer's in town, and I'll work on your behalf. I'm not on the manufacturer's behalf, I'm on the customer's behalf.
Okay.
So I'm standing next to the customer against the manufacturer, or negotiating a deal with the manufacturer versus standing next to the manufacturer trying to negotiate a deal with the customer.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
So you get well, that's interesting. I guess we're not going to go for a commercial break.
All right.
I think they were testing to see.
We need to call the VAR.
I think they were testing to see if I was awake. I mean, that's what was going on.
I might have let the cat out of the bag there. They blew the whistle.
That was the manufacturer alert. They're coming in the door.
Yeah.
Anyway, that happened the last time we were here, but not when we were doing the show. So, so you register the deal. See if I can keep my train of thought. So you register the deal, then that way you you can leverage the better discounts and those kinds of things. But could multiple people register a deal? Or multiple resellers or VARs?
No, because you don't want somebody that heard about a deal at a bar or overheard a conversation, run out and try to register a deal, and they have nothing to do. They don't know the goals of the customer or anything like that. Yeah.
All right. So that's an interesting nuance within how the process works.
Yes.
And another thing he brought up was the levels. So like sometimes you're like a platinum or gold or silver level partner, so you can, that's based on probably the volume that you've done over the years or the relationships that you've built. So that helps you also sometimes bring additional discount to a customer or additional warranty coverage or something like that.
Absolutely. Since we're the largest IT company in Hawaii right now, we get the cream of the crop as far as what the manufacturer offers.
Awesome.
So we have a lot of manufacturers come in and want us to rep their products, but we have to pick and choose the best of breed, also the ones that provide the best support afterwards.
Sure,
it's not just the latest gadget that's out there. It's, how is that going to be in 3 years from now?
And so you're out there also getting all these certifications, so you understand how to configure all of these different platforms. But you must run into an interesting internal conflict, when you got vendor A and vendor B. You're the VAR for those two vendors. Never a conflict. I'm putting you. I like putting you on the spot. So you got vendor A and vendor B, and so now you understand the client's needs, and you're going to have to pick one of these two vendors.
Mhm.
And so that must be fun.
Yes, it is fun. But sometimes I can present both to the customer.
Ah.
Yeah, and I can present both to the customer and let them work with them to make the best decision. You know, it's not what I want; it's what the customer
With the
needs.
customer. So
Yeah.
that's a really good point. It's like, so you walk into a whatever you go to purchase something, and they may have one or two products and that's it. Whereas you go and you work with the manufacturer, and correct me if I'm wrong, each manufacturer may have a line of products, and then you can present those particular lines of product to the client, and the client decide which one of those lines they want. And it may not be based totally on price.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And for the smaller customer, you know, you go down to Best Buy and you buy whatever's on the shelf this week, you go down the next month, you buy the next whatever's on the shelf. All of a sudden, you've got all these different pieces of equipment with all these different iterations of software on it, and then you're just messed up. You have, when it's time to upgrade or update, or, you know, you don't know what to do.
Do all the patches, that
Yeah.
some work and some don't work,
Yeah,
and all
me,
those
I can
kinds of-
keep you in the same image the whole time, so you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, that's very cool. Very, very cool. Anyway, it's another break time. We got to pay some bills.
Okay.
All right.
We'll come back and we'll talk to Brett, and we'll come back with one of our new segments. Anyway, thanks again. Replenish your libations, and we'll see you in a minute.
Hi, I'm Donna Blanchard. I'm the host of Center Stage here on the ThinkTech Digital Series. The show is every Wednesday from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and I want you to watch this show because I think that when we talk with artists on the show about what they do, how they do it, and most importantly, why they do it, I believe that it resonates within each of us, and we find something inside of ourselves that brings us closer to all of humanity. That's what arts are there to do, and that's what I'm here to do on this show. That's Center Stage. It's on every Wednesday from 2 to 3 o'clock. I hope to see you there.
Ted Ralston, folks, host of our show at ThinkTech Hawaii called Where the Road Leads, where we talk about technology influencing the future of Hawaii. Technology, of course, is the art of solving problems. We always bring in interesting and informed guests who can see from different perspectives and different points of view how that future might unfold and how technology can assist us in getting there. So once again, join us 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Fridays. Ted Ralston, your host. And please, if you have ideas that you'd like us to address on this show, or folks who you think should be on it, let us know.
Aloha, and how you doing? Welcome back to Hibachi Talk. We're here with our guest, Brett. See? It's done. My day is done. Brett Peavey. Sorry, Brett. I'm
That's
really
all right.
sorry.
I've been called worse.
Yeah. So, from PAX, who was talking about value-added reselling, VAR, and my buddy Andrew, the security guy. Now, we have a new segment we started last week. It was called You Got One Text Job.
I failed last week.
And
pretty
this is
bad.
how it works, Brett. I'm going to give Andrew a texting acronym, and you have to tell me whether you think he has it right or not.
Okay.
So we don't put you on the spot.
Okay,
you just
good.
we just have you have to see if he knows.
But if you know it, you can get an extra point.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you
okay.
know it,
I
you
got
get,
crushed
you can,
last week,
You
so.
can get me an extra point. Let me
Okay.
whisper in your ear. So anyway, so you can get me an extra point. So anyways, sir, we're gonna pop this one up, Andrew, and this is a lot easier than last week. And you know, this is really easy. It's AAK. So we just have a clock. Tick tock, tick tock.
Okay.
You got it? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. What is it?
Well, do you think I got it?
No, I don't think you have.
All right.
Live and kicking.
Oh, not bad, but it's wrong.
Oh, that was pretty good.
I liked it though.
Yeah.
It's asleep at the keyboard, like you were that
I
show 2 shows ago.
should have known
Should
that.
have known that one.
Asleep
okay.
at keyboard.
Okay, I'm up 3. Anyway, I love the fact I ain't gonna lose this one. This is not like Lost Wages. I can't lose. I'll pick you an easier
I'm
one.
down 3-0, I think.
I'll pick an easier one for you next
That
year.
was tough.
LOL. But I like that one, alive and kicking. I'm going to use that now.
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go.
Anyway, we're back here with Brett, and we're going to continue on our story about VAR. You had an interesting question you were going to pose to him.
Well, I have situations where I have a VAR channel that I represent, and then sometimes the manufacturer will also have an independent rep, and then sometimes the manufacturer even have reps of their own. And it's come mostly on national accounts where I get a national company that's putting in an office out here or something, and I'll run into a conflict there. Does that happen in your work as well, where I'm maybe not competing, but the margins are gone, and you know, it's like, oh, well,
Happens all the time.
is the deal worth
Certain,
having?
certain manufacturers more than others. But yeah.
Want to name names?
No.
Don't let him put you on the hook.
I still have to work with these people.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then they'll be on your case. How come you're not hitting your numbers?
Yeah, exactly.
We lost that line.
Yeah. But absolutely. Manufacturers, they'll come out and they'll try to sell direct on some things. But where we add value is we don't just sell a product. I have a whole team behind me. It's not just me. You know, I couldn't do this by myself. I have inside salespeople and that can do stuff that the manufacturer doesn't do for the customer, like track their orders and help them with RMAs if they need to do that.
RMA.
Yeah,
which is
return.
Oh, return merchandise.
Yeah.
Authorization.
Right. Yeah. And so we do all that for the customer, whereas the manufacturer won't help them with that stuff. They're on their own. Good luck. They'll give you 1-800 number to call and, you know, talk to somebody in India or something like that, where we will take that burden off the customer and do that for them.
And further, what about the advanced RMA? I know you do those, and the manufacturer doesn't have any channel for like that at all.
Yep, absolutely. So we provide a lot more services than just one manufacturer can do. And we do it across all lines. So I don't care if you buy an HP, a Dell, or a Hitachi, or whatever from us. We'll take that responsibility from you. So you're not out there trying to call different manufacturers to do that. And like I said, it's not me. I have a great team behind me doing that.
And I think it's an important distinction, because that manufacturer may come in and fly their flag, and you'll find them, and they're a couple points lower. But that customer, if they're really influenced by that price point, they've given up all that having that local relationship with a VAR brings.
Yeah,
and it's massive. Sometimes maybe they made the right decision going cheap, but rarely does that work out over time.
Some customers will go just for the bottom dollar, and they don't really understand the ramifications of that, and so cheap is not always better.
No,
you know, and especially in the computer business, you pretty much get what you pay for. And so if you're going white boxing it and stuff like that, which there are out there, and you can put them together and it's real cheap, I mean, you're going to get that kind of level of equipment, and it's going to break down on you more times than not.
Guaranteed. I know of existing clients that we have that actually still to this day make their own machines.
Yeah.
So they actually their own desktops. They actually assemble and build their own desktops. They do not want to go through the VAR process. They don't want to go online and even order it white boxed online. They are still of the mindset that they should be building boxes.
I have a customer that does that as well. And where they ran into problems is they lost the technician that built the boxes for them. Now they have a bunch of boxes they have no idea what's going on with. And so they call us in, and we can't help them with that because I don't do white boxes. But if they would have went with a established line with a lifespan to it, then they wouldn't have that. They could, if an IT guy comes and goes, we can pick up right where they leave off.
Oh, that's a pretty good point.
Yeah, that continuity across the lines of business, you know, and the bigger the business, I think the more important that is for them. Disruption, you know, if you're down for a day or down for an hour or whatever the case may be, that impact to your business can be a lot of money. And saving a few points on a purchase that you're making, maybe every 3 years or every 5 years or whatever, depending on how often you're refreshing your technologies, you know, it's not worth it in the long run. You need a partner that'll walk in and get you up and running again quickly.
The accounting department will drive you crazy. I mean, the accounting
procurement.
And I will pick on the accounting department, but the accounting department, not my accounting department, but the accounting department will drive you crazy because they're going to look at, oh, wait, you can get that machine for $10 less, and that's 10 machines. We're going to save $100. But then in the back end is the IT department who's scrambling around like crazy with 10 different boxes, not knowing what to do with it.
And the downtime of that machine could cost you more in lost revenue than it would be to buy a new one, to get a better one. Yeah.
And it happens in the security world too, where we get, you know, systems, the systems offline, the doors are unlocked, or the video's down, and you know people that have put this stuff together, the hodgepodge, it's hard to help them without forklifting it. You know, if they don't have an agreement or a service plan with a VAR, you know, we walk in, I'm like, sorry, but here's where you're at, you know.
We've opened closet doors, right? Those data center doors, and opened them and just
you close
them real quick
and run,
and go away.
So what
are some of the biggest challenges you have in this business besides the quotas I put on you?
Well, I don't know if there's anything big as that, but no. It's just staying up to date with the technology as fast as it's changing. You know, it takes a big effort to do that, and that's what we do. So that's our business. But for a company out there, that's not what they do, and so that's not their business. And so to get them to understand that this new little pop-up company over here has this great little thing that they think would be great for them might not be the best way to go, because this company might run out of money tomorrow.
Right.
You know, and now you have a product that you have all your data on that you can't support.
Yeah, and you know, a nice, cheap, inexpensive, solid state drive that you think is the best in the world.
Yeah.
You know, made in, you know, a company in the ocean, a few oceans away, and
Yeah.
starts with letter C.
Yeah.
And then when it goes down, you can't find any parts.
Can't find any parts. And it's just working with customers and getting them to understand the value of a value-add reseller like us. And then most people get it. Most large companies get it. It's the smaller companies that don't really, you know, because you can go onto a website and order a desktop, and all of a sudden it shows up at your desk, at your door, and that's what you have. But getting it to work well within your infrastructure might be totally different.
That's true, and Angus talked about, you know, the new Surface 3 that's coming out, and you know, the interesting thing, great product, but the Surface 3 is a consumer product. So if you were to buy that and bring that into your office and think you can put it on your network, it doesn't work that way. That's an additional cost, and depending on whether you're a consumer or a business, that will set the price point on it.
Absolutely.
But if you walk in and not picking on Microsoft, but maybe the salesperson doesn't know you're going to bring this thing back and try to drop it on your network. And so you got a consumer-based product that isn't working on your network.
So if you don't have the professional level OS on there, you're not going to put it on your network.
Right.
Yeah.
So, or security.
Yeah.
Or the right security.
Especially security these days.
You say, oh, I got
That's
this
a whole
report.
different.
Yeah.
And we can
talk about that.
We get that a lot, you know, that you got that. I think a lot of the buyers don't understand, you know, there's consumer grade, commercial grade, professional grade, and we have mil spec, you know, in my world, and I'm sure we have that in a lot of the hardware out there on the larger datacom hardware that you guys support, you know. There's a vast difference. It looks the same. It's a box. It's the same size, same number of ports, same amount of throughput, but one of them is going to mean time before failure. It's, you know, 99.99% uptime, and this consumer grade box, it's got a 1-year warranty. What do you think that means, right?
Yeah, right, and then 3 days to replace it.
Sure.
If it's within that 1 year, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Which you go back. So, you know, what kind of advice would you give to businesses out there when they're going out? It's not like, don't come to PAX is a great one, but, or go to IST is another,
sure.
but you know, with regards to being cautious about buying hardware, software, and such.
Well, I would suggest, you know, if it's a large purchase and it's for your business, I mean, get somebody that does it for a living involved, like a VAR. It doesn't have to be us. You're right. There's other VARs out there, and some are better than others. But you want to get somebody that is going to be here for a while. You know, they're dedicated to Hawaii, and they're going to be here as your business grows. They grow with you. Versus just going down there and Johnny at the Best Buy is going to sell you whatever you want, right? And he's working there today and Pizza Hut tomorrow.
Or Apple Store
or wherever.
Thursday.
Right.
Or both on
Yeah.
the same day.
Exactly. So get to know your VAR, share with them your goals, and, you know, get them involved in your business, and they will help you grow it.
And I think it's important to find hopefully a VAR that kind of knows your vertical market. You know, if you're in the healthcare business, you kind of want somebody that knows, you know, has their finger on the pulse of healthcare, or it could be prisons, or it could be education, you know, campus type stuff. So I think it's important. It's hard for us to know it all. You know, if you cross a lot of gamuts from critical infrastructure to education to healthcare, you know, it's broad. So the guys who come in and I work everywhere, I'm always like, yeah, really? Do you really? You know it all, huh? Wow.
At PAXA, we tend to, we almost, I wouldn't say we turn away, but we refer a lot of business to other people that we don't have expertise in, because I can't do it all, and I'm not gonna mislead a customer saying that I can, because if I can't deliver, that's gonna hurt our image, and that's something we don't do at PAXA.
Sure.
So,
okay, gentlemen, you're not going to believe this.
We're out of
I don't
time?
waste seconds with this man.
You sure your clock's right?
I got to get him out. I got to get him out there on the street and
Back to work.
sell. You know, anyone without a hernia isn't pulling their weight.
There
so
you
just
go.
remember that. That's our logo. Anyway, but we never let anyone get away without having this autographed solo cup. So, Brett, you know, this is your spiff.
I appreciate it.
Which we'll talk about in another segment on what spiffs are.
Okay.
So here's your spiff, and
Thank you very
so much for joining us today. And we want to thank all of you for tolerating us for the past 45 minutes. I apologize for my babbling and can't speaking and whatever, but it's all Andrew's fault. And so we look forward to seeing you next week. We'll have a wonderful time here at Hibachi Talk. And remember, how you doing?
Aloha.